Let's do a thought experiment. Imagine you have somebody saying to you, it's all a conspiracy. Every week, a new conspiracy. Every week. And it says that the wife of the president of France is actually a man with no evidence, who says that Jews, or implies Jews, go around killing children or abusing children. Says that the Christian ministry of Turning Point was actually involved, or in some way, in the murder of the leader of their own ministry, or in the cover-up of it. Even though the police apprehended the man whom his trans boyfriend reported as suspicious, but with no evidence that the man's murder was done by his own ministry, implying that his wife was part of it in some way. Saying that behind the assassination of JFK, John F. Kennedy, in 1963, were the Jews, were the Israelis. It says that, well, on and on and on and on. Someone's telling you that every week. You would say that this person most likely should be committed. You would say the person should be in a mental ward. In fact, that's the kind of thing, just the kind of thing that you will most hear from a person in a mental ward. Somebody in a straitjacket, or being sedated, or given shock therapy. Now, people in mental wards, mental institutions, will have issues. It's a tragedy. And we need to pray for them and hope they get good help. But you don't spend your days listening to their babblings or psychotic hallucination and babblings and pondering what they're saying and giving credence to everything they say or anything they say. Now, let's say one of those poor psychotic people in this mental institution, it gets a YouTube show or goes on social media, and they say the same things that they would say in their padded cell, but now they do it on the web, on YouTube, social media, on different channels. The fact that there's a camera or a cell phone in their room, in their padded room, or a microphone, and they post it online doesn't make it any less the ravings of somebody who is a lunatic or is suffering from mental illness than if they didn't have a camera and they were just in that room. Now let's go further. Many have noted many of the similarities of symptoms of mental illness and demonic possession. What is the nature of the enemy, the devil? The word devil comes from the word diabol or diabolos, which means one who accuses, who casts slander, accusations. Now, what if you notice that the person in the psych ward is not only spewing psychotic, hallucinatory babblings, but that there's a pattern that to their psychotic, hallucinatory babblings, that it continually focuses on accusation, slander against everybody, and the accusations never hold up or make sense, and they go on from one, and one doesn't stick, they go on to the next one, and the next one, and the next one. One doesn't work, to the next one. Then you have to consider you may not just be dealing with mental illness and the delusions of paranoia and psychosis, you may be dealing with demonic activity or demonic possession. Because they're spewing things that the enemy would spew, sowing slander, accusation, hatred, confusion. Let's say this person in this institution who may be influenced by these things finds a cell phone, starts doing a series about a widow who just lost her Christian ministering husband who was assassinated and now has to minister without him, trying to keep the ministry going since he was murdered. And this series produced by this person in this ward, in this institution, accuses this Christian widow not only of covering up the murder of her husband, implying that, but somehow being involved, but now alludes to her being a lesbian or a pedophile. The person in the padded cell now has their sick and dark delusions produced with music and imagery and editing. You know, it might have music, but it's still in essence, lunatic babblings of a person in a padded cell. It's equivalent to that. You might say, well, I like the music, I like the editing, I like the production values. Yeah, but the thing is, it's psychotic and it's demonic. And the thing is, it doesn't matter, because in the end, that's what it comes down to. That's all it is. It sows confusion among those who listen to him. It sows division among Christians and ministries, even hurting the support of ministries seeking to do God's will. You might seriously question if this person is demonically possessed or demonically influenced, as they are hurting people and the work of God. And so the Bible says the devil, as a slanderer, it says, who does he rage against? Well, people of God, believers, but specifically a nation. It says the Bible says he rages against the nation of Israel, the Jewish people. It's there in Zechariah. It's there in Revelation. The dragon wars against the woman who gave birth to the Messiah. The devil most especially hates the Jewish people, and Israel slanders them. So is it an accident that Candace Owens has been taken by a spirit that rages against the Jewish people and Israel, launching every possible slander against them? She slanders God's ancient chosen people. She attacks Christian ministries, sows confusion and division among God's camp. Who would do that? I mean, in the spiritual realm, who would do that? She attacks Erica Kirk, a widow of the fatherless children. How low can you get when you're attacking a widow who just lost her husband? The Bible says God especially defends widows and the fatherless against attack, and he executes judgment for them. I'd be real careful if I was involved with that. And against Christian ministries. If that person in that mental ward was raging against the Jewish people, I'd question if they were not demonically possessed or influenced, because those are the devil's accusations, the devil's hatred, the devil's rage, the devil's craziness. But let's say by putting these things up in their cell, on their cell phone in their cell, people get a kick out of watching the crazy rantings, or they take it as true. They tune in. And by watching these things, the person in the psych ward gets money from the clicks, gets cookies, gets food baskets, gets champagne. Now they're all the more into it because they're making money off of their psychosis, their slandering, their demonic slandering. So those watching are actually encouraging that person in their sickness and in their harm and in their being under the influence. And the enemy all the more uses them because he can reach more people to do his will. Am I saying Candace Owens is mentally ill, demonically taken? God knows, I don't. I can't say that. But it doesn't really matter, because what she's doing is, in effect, no different from what a person in a straitjacket, in a padded cell, in a mental institution, under the influence of the demonic realm would say and do. It is not different, so the end result is the same. Is she under the influence or being used by the enemy? In that sense, no doubt, no question. Anyone who does these things, sows this division, sows these slanders, attacks in those ways, becomes a vessel of the enemy. Now let's say the slandering of this person in the psych ward, in our mental experiment, brings harm to the people who are being slandered. Let's say the people who are supposed to be Christians, or who are supposed to uphold biblical values, say nothing at all about it, do nothing about it. The people who are influencers don't want to say anything. Then they're guilty. Let's say, I want to tune in and see what that person's doing in that mental ward, what they're saying today, because I get a kick out of it, or I get entertained by it, or I believe it. If you did that, you'd be defiling yourself. You'd be opening yourself up to evil. And if you take any delight in it, any entertainment value from it, you're opening yourself up to be infected by darkness. You're opening the doors to the enemy in your life, to his voice, to his thoughts, to his words, seeds that will go into your thoughts. You're opening the doors to the dark side. The Bible says, whatever's true, whatever's noble, whatever's right, whatever's pure, whatever's lovely, whatever's admirable, if anything is excellent or worthy of praise, let your mind dwell on those things. What Candace Owens is doing is not noble. Is it right? No. Is it pure? No. Is it lovely? No. Is it admirable? No. Is it excellent? No. Is it worthy of praise? No. Is it true? No. Therefore, if you are in any way seeking to follow the ways of God, you must have nothing to do with what she's doing. Nothing to do with that channel. It's dark, it's evil, it's sick, it's toxic, it's harmful, it's dangerous, it's demonic, it's defiling, and it's sin. It belongs in a padded room of an institution, not in the homes, not in the minds of God's people, of someone who's good or loves God, or someone who claims to be of Messiah. No believer, no follower of Messiah, Yeshua, Jesus, has any business letting in this dark defilement into their eyes, their ears, their minds. It's only going to darken you. If you call yourself a Christian, you cannot partake in these things. The Bible is clear. Slander and false witness are going to be judged at the judgment seat. And if you listen to gossip, you're part of gossip. You see, and why would you want to do that? Why would you want to waste the precious time that God's given you on this earth with a commission to bring people to salvation with what is the equivalent of the babblings of a paranoid mental case? I didn't say she was, I'm saying it's equivalent to. And on top of all that, you're empowering it. Because even if you're not for it, hey, I just want to see what she's doing, you're giving that channel clicks, which gives her money to do what she's doing because it makes money, so she does it. More so, it destroys people's reputations. You're empowering evil. You're becoming an accomplice to evil. On top of that, to curse the Jewish people or Israel is to become cursed. The Bible's clear about it. To war against Christian ministries is the realm of being cursed. To slander and bear false witness is to be cursed. To attack a widow, which in effect is attacking her fatherless children, is to be cursed. Do not join yourself to that in any way, lest your life become cursed. Treat it as you would the ravings of someone who is a lunatic or under the influence. Pray for them. Pray against the spirit that is moving them. Pray for them to be delivered. We need to pray for her. And if you want to, you want to bless somebody who's in an institution, just send them a care package of cookies, but don't be giving it room. We should pray for Candace Owens to be delivered from this evil. Because if not, it will not be well for her on the day of judgment. On top of the fact that her judge on the day of judgment happens to be Jewish. You see, treat it as you would that. Have nothing to do with the works of evil. And here's a word from the Bible. It says this, 2 Timothy. Realize this, in the last days, troubling times will come. People will be lovers of self, lovers of money, boastful, arrogant, slanderers, disobedient to parents, ungrateful, unholy, unloving, irreconcilable, malicious, gossips, without self-control, brutal, haters of good, treacherous, reckless, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God. Avoid such ones as these. Command of God. Avoid such ones as these.